CTV News with Jack Morse.
To have called police for assistance on that day and for it to have ended the way it had ended is just unimaginable.
Local police services handed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Thank you for joining us. $17.5 million. That's how much the Hatton family of Innisfil is suing South Simcoe Police and the OPP for after one of their sons was killed and his twin brother put in critical condition during a violent interaction with officers 2 years ago. Here's CTV's Mike Arslides with more.
Putting the actions of police under the microscope in civil court, the family of twins Liam and Dylan Hatton has filed a $17.5 million lawsuit against South Simcoe and Ontario Provincial Police following the August 2024 shooting outside their Innisfil home that killed Liam and sent Dylan to hospital in life-threatening condition.
The police officers are there to serve and protect and to preserve life.
The family's lawyer, Asha James, saying police used excessive force and failed the Hatton family.
Of course, we understand that officers need to ensure their safety as well, but they are trained for these situations, and in our point of view, they did not handle the situation appropriately. Liam should be alive today, and he's not.
South Simcoe Police had been called to the home along Shoreview Drive during what the lawsuit claims was the 19-year-old Hatton twins being in a mental health crisis. The lawsuit argues police officers ignored the family's request to help de-escalate the situation, saying Liam and Dylan got behind the wheel of an SUV and tried to leave the property when Liam was shot in the head and killed. Dylan grabbed the wheel and he was then shot 5 times by 3 officers.
To have called police for assistance on that day and for it to have ended the way it had ended is just unimaginable.
The Special Investigations Unit cleared the South Simcoe police officers of criminal wrongdoing, concluding the actions of the responding officers were not unjustified when facing the, quote, very real possibility of being run over when Dylan Hatton tried to reverse the SUV despite being told to get out of the vehicle by police. Following an OPP investigation, Dylan Hatton was later charged with 4 counts of assaulting an officer, along with assault causing bodily harm, assault with a weapon, and dangerous driving. Those charges were dropped in October.
On my review of the body cam footage, which was inconsistent with the police notes, it was clear that Mr. Hatton should never have been shot by police. Mr. Hatton should never have been charged by police.
The family's civil lawsuit also questions the techniques and standards used by the OPP in the subsequent investigation that led to charges against Dylan Hatton.
The Hatton family is seeking accountability. They want those who were responsible for the killing of their son Liam and injuring Dylan and the emotional trauma that this has brought onto the family to bear the consequences of that.
The respondents now have about 3 weeks to file a statement of defense. The allegations against them have not been tested in court. Mike Arslides, CTV News, Barrie.
The future of healthcare in Orillia is still unclear. The site for its hospital uncertain. Here's CTV's Rob Cooper with reaction from the community and when we might actually see shovels in the ground.
This giant sign on Lakehead University land in Orillia has been in place for a couple of months, but it's not the guaranteed site for the city's new hospital. Earlier this week, City Council voted to postpone discussion and decision-making surrounding the potential sale of Lakehead University lands for a new hospital site. Right now, the university holds the title, but the city has a development agreement that governs any potential land sale, and council isn't ready to make a decision.
The original agreement, the land was given to Lakehead for the development of a university, and Lakehead has said that they want the proceeds from that sale to go toward building a campus expansion.
The city gave that land in a donation along with millions of dollars to Lakehead, and it can be only used for certain purposes. They're no longer using it for those purposes, and therefore the legal rights that are there should be adhered to, and I believe that the city of Orillia should retain that land back.
On Monday, council received a 494-page report from the city's CAO on the issue. They are now sifting through the details and will take the next couple of weeks to meet with Lakehead and hospital staff for more clarity before voting on what to do.
Does this delay things at all?
Unfortunately, this does. Our approval to go to stage 1.3 has site-specific planning requirements that cannot proceed until the 25 acres is removed from the covenant.
The sale of the land would help us enormously in putting together the money we need to build that new building, because we currently don't have that money.
The city councilors I spoke with today say the extra time is needed to go through the massive report and give residents an opportunity to get the information they need. The proposed sale of the land will be up for discussion in council chambers on August 10th. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Orillia.
A police investigation is underway after a woman's body was found near a popular beach in Barrie. Officers called to Tyndale Beach this afternoon. Investigators have ruled out foul play. Police are asking members of the public to avoid the area while that investigation continues. No further details on the death have been released at this time. Barrie police have released photos of the man they're looking for in two separate break-and-enters in the North End. Officers called to a restaurant on Bell Farm Road around 1:20 Wednesday morning. Police say an alarm went off when the suspect came into and then left through a locked rear door. He didn't take anything. Officers searched the area but didn't find the suspect. However, they did find a backpack with several tools. A short time later, officers were called to another break-and-enter nearby where the suspect went in and left through a locked side door. Police believe the same suspect is responsible for both of those incidents. A 55-year-old Penetang machine man is facing charges after a copper theft in Tiny Township. It happened at a quarry site on LaFontaine Road. Police say the suspect broke in over the weekend, stealing from locked storage containers and pulling wiring out of a piece of heavy equipment. That caused $60,000 in damage. He was picked up after police allege he sold the copper and brass to a local scrap metal yard. A Barrie man is one of more than 20 people arrested in a drug smuggling investigation where police seized $139 million worth of illegal drugs. CTV's Judy Trin has more on Project Bay.
A small mountain of illegal drugs weighing 1.7 tons, most of it cocaine and methamphetamine, seized during an investigation nicknamed Project Bay, which began in Windsor 18 months earlier.
The drugs in this room are not ending up in the hands of our community's vulnerable population. The firearms in this room are not sowing chaos in our communities.
Displayed in front of the hundreds of packages, the jarring visual of a weapon of war, an anti-tank gun, among the recovered firearms. Investigators say transnational crime groups are involved.
Investigators identified a network coordinating the movement and distribution of large quantities of drugs through otherwise legitimate supply chains. This included coordinating shipments and arranging drivers to knowingly transport concealed drugs within commercial loads.
Police say brokers were used to smuggle drugs in transport trucks and that illegal drugs worth $139 million have been taken off the streets, most of it intercepted at the border in May and June.
Border Services officers intercepted over 1.1 tons of drugs that criminal groups were attempting to smuggle across the border. We shared vital intelligence and surveillance information with our partners.
10 law enforcement agencies worked together on Project Bay, from Ontario Provincial Police to local police in Windsor and the Toronto area, along with the RCMP, U.S. Homeland Security, and the Drug Enforcement Agency. Investigators say the shipments originated in the southwestern United States and are likely connected to Mexican cartels.
Logically, Mexico is a well-known transshipment point with drug cartels.
Police have arrested 19 people in connection with Project Bay. 2 other suspects are on the run. Investigators emphasize that they have not dismantled a drug network, but have put a dent in the supply. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Provincial officials now say 180 wildfires are burning in northern Ontario. That's 7 more than yesterday. Despite a warning not to return to their homes, there are reports several people are going back, saying the province isn't doing enough to protect their homes. The OPP reminding people who've been ordered to stay away that they will risk hundreds of dollars in fines for returning. ISN Masqua in Barrie now has more than 100 people from First Nations north of Thunder Bay forced to evacuate by flames and smoke. Now in our region, the cool, wet weather has pushed the fire danger ratings down. It's been downgraded across Muskoka from high to moderate. That means small recreational open-air fires are allowed overnight between 6 and 8 the next morning. In Simcoe County, the Beausoleil First Nation still sits at extreme. The rest of the region, either high or moderate. Those wildfires are a reminder we need to be prepared in emergencies. Today, Tay Township unveiled a new way to help their response.
These structures can be deployed quickly and provide a safe, secure, weather-protected space for emergency operations.
Thanks to the province's Community Emergency Preparedness Grant spending, the township has 2 new portable air-supported structures. You're seeing them there. Tay was given a one-time $150,000 grant to buy them, something officials say would have helped a lot in the ice storm response last year.
It's great to see that communities are prepared for what may come.
They will be used to shelter residents, to provide some relief for first responders if necessary, and also rehabilitation of first responders. But mainly our main focus is going to be housing and safety of our residents.
It's absolutely essential for communities to be prepared, and as we saw last year with the ice storm, how important it was to have things like warming centers available to residents when we were without hydro for, in some cases, up to 2 weeks.
Officials say the temporary buildings can be up and running in about 30 minutes and set up anywhere needed in the community. All right, and speaking of potential bad weather, here's CTV's Mike Lang with our first look at the weather. What's the forecast like, Mike?
Well, Jack, it's been a beautiful, almost perfect summer day. Plenty of sunshine, not too much wind, not too much humidity, just a perfect day to be outside on a nice July weekday. Taking a look at your temperatures outside your door right now. First weather brought to you by graveldrivewayguide.com, your local gravel driveway expert. Currently sitting at 23 degrees. Winds are fairly light out of the west at 17 kilometers per hour. Taking a look now at temperatures across the region. 22 degrees in Orillia, Gravenhurst, Algonquin Park, and Parry Sound. 23 degrees in Collingwood. 23 degrees in Newmarket, and 25 degrees is the hotspot in Toronto. Here's our satellite radar going into tonight. Not much activity, as you can see, as the clear skies will continue into the evening, and perfect night for stargazing and just enjoying, again, another nice relaxing evening outside, maybe with your dog, because we all love our dogs as pets because they give us unconditional love and companionship, and that is especially important for veterans. Now, the Royal Canadian Legion, partnering with Wounded Warriors, is making it easier than ever for local veterans and veterans across the country to find themselves their best friend.
Veterans and service dogs, those who fought for our country and man's best friend. Turns out they can be a perfect but also interdependent match. Chandler is an 8-year-old golden Newf who works as a service dog for retired Sergeant Dave Sampson.
I don't think I'd be able to live without him. He means a lot. Definitely means a lot.
Sampson served for many years, most notably in the Airborne Regiment, and is now a veteran service officer for Simcoe County. Chandler was paired with Sampson 7 years ago at the height of his struggles with post-traumatic stress disorder and substance abuse.
All other things didn't work. I didn't want to go into other medications that the doctor was prescribing, so I felt that the service dog was the last step that I could probably take.
Chandler completed his service dog training in Missouri, where he was born and raised. He helps Sampson in crowded environments and can settle him down during PTSD nightmares.
He's changed it. He's allowed me to laugh, meet people, enjoy life.
Pairing with Chandler was at no cost for Sampson, thanks to the Royal Canadian Legion's partnership with Wounded Warriors, which estimates a price tag of $35,000 to buy and train each service dog, but the Legion covers those expenses up until the match is made.
They entrust us to ensure that the dogs are trained to the proper standards, that they're placed with veterans, and that they're effective.
Wounded Warriors recently paired its 100th Ontario service dog since 2018 and will soon be making an official announcement in BC for its 500th service dog nationwide.
This represents an investment of Canadians who care of $15 million over that time since we began.
These dogs have saved veterans' lives. They have saved veterans' lives.
And retired Sergeant Sampson confirms he's now 5 years sober, and he's one of 8 local veterans here in Simcoe County that are paired with service dogs through the program. He also wants to remind everyone that they're more than welcome to pet Chandler and other service dogs as long as they ask the owner first. With that, Jack, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you. CTV's Mike Lang just out in the garden right now. Simcoe County's largest hospital is getting nearly $10 million in spending to reduce wait times and improve operations. The Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre will see $9.8 million as the province spends $1.1 billion in the hospital sector. That money will go to keep the emergency department open, increase pay, and reduce wait time for diagnostic imaging and surgeries, including MRIs, CTs, and cardiac scans. Midland and Petatangwisheen are pausing their microtransit initiative. In March, the two towns approved a hybrid transit model combining traditional fixed routes with on-demand microtransit. Now, that was subject to final contract negotiations and operational planning. And in a review, staff identified several concerns that they say could be resolved with no guarantee that the service could maintain transit levels and an unacceptable financial risk to the municipalities. The existing Mid-Pen transit service will continue to operate without interruption. The Prime Minister says everything's on the table, promising to do whatever it takes to deal with U.S. President Donald Trump's latest plans to put in 50% tariffs. It comes as the PM sat face-to-face with Canada's provincial and territorial leaders today. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
Under pressure to plot Canada's path through the latest escalation of the trade war with the United States, Prime Minister Mark Carney met with premiers today to strategize.
Canadian governments around this table will do whatever it takes to defend and support our families, our workers, and our businesses.
Morning. Provincial and territorial leaders went into the meeting wanting the Canadian government to articulate how they intend to get the Americans to the table.
With a strong plan, Team Canada, led by the Prime Minister.
And what happens if he doesn't have a strong plan today?
Well, I don't expect him to have the T's crossed and I's dotted, but it's a Team Canada approach led by the Prime Minister.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Chief Negotiator Janice Charette joined today's talks. And hours later, First Ministers emerged united and with new resolve.
We're ready. We're ready because we have been focusing on what we can control. And that's building our strength at home.
As the clock ticks towards U.S. President Donald Trump's new tariffs coming into effect, Carney said he sees the current deadline as both a potential endgame, but also just another pressure tactic.
Everything's on the table if there's no agreement, depending on the outcome of the negotiations.
And premiers, while initially differing on retaliation, agreed the best outcome would be to get a comprehensive deal that provides relief for the full range of tariff-affected sectors.
97% of our goods cross the border without tariffs, but we'd like it to be 100%. And we'd like it to be the same way for the rest of the country as well.
The Prime Minister was also pressed to keep provinces in the loop as negotiations intensify.
Canada's at its best when provinces and territories and the federal government work together.
Carney and the premiers also agreed to keep up efforts to strengthen the domestic economy, to reduce Canada's reliance on the United States long term, from breaking down even more interprovincial trade barriers to building more major energy projects. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Charlottetown.
In the midst of a shortage in the country's supply, Canadian Blood Services is appealing for donations. CBS says the supply has dropped by nearly 20% since June 1st. There is now a limited supply of several blood types, and that isn't sustainable in patient care. It says they need roughly 18,000 appointments a week to keep up with hospital demand. They've fallen short by 1,500 to 2,500 over the past 6 weeks.
We have a national connected network. So what that means is that if you have a patient in one part of the country, we ensure that we're matching the right blood product at the right time with that patient, regardless if the blood is coming from another part of the country. So again, this is why managing our inventory and our supply, blood only has a shelf life of 42 days. It's so critical.
If you can help out, make an appointment by visiting the Canadian Blood Services website. Still to come, a chance for kids to meet some furry new friends and learn a little bit more about the animals in their life and how they should treat them. Plus, if that tree the city put up in your front of your house is looking a little bit brown, well, they've got the answer for you. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors.
Music, it's a small community, so when something's really good, we all want to be part of it.
We have an amazing music scene here. Having people come together in community, listen to some amazing local artists, brings the downtown alive. It brings our city alive.
Troubadour Festival 2026 is going to be off the hook. We've got the Watchmen, Bahamas, going to be great.
Welcome back. Watering bags are now available to Barrie residents who have a new boulevard tree as the city replaces those lost in last year's ice storm. The city is planting 4,000 trees this year to replace those killed in the storm. While contractors are out watering this summer, the city says it's difficult for them to get to that many trees and often enough. Watering bags are the solution, and the city is now giving them away.
Water bags are very simple to use. You pick it up, you simply zip it around the tree, and then there's a flap at the back of the bag that you fill in with the hose. You let it fill until full, and then it's good to just slowly release the water over like a 10-hour period. It lets the roots fully soak and establish. So it's very important for the young tree that was just recently planted. Young trees undergo a lot of transplant stress, so adding additional watering is just going to help them stress less.
So this will help us with restoring the canopy lost from the ice storm. There were 4,000 street and park trees that came down from that ice damage, and getting these trees in the ground and growing faster and healthier will mean that we'll get that canopy reestablished quicker.
And that is basically it.
You can pick up your watering bag this Saturday morning or next Saturday at Tyndale Park. The city recommends watering your trees once a week from May to October. A summer camp in Collingwood is exploring the bond between humans and animals through hands-on play and lessons focusing on kindness and respect.
Usually poodles, they say they can live up to 17, even 20 years.
Whoa.
Led by the Georgian Triangle Humane Society, campers get to learn about animals in the wild and even get some special guest visits from the shelter, like Bert, this 15-year-old poodle.
It's a great place for kids who find themselves in a situation where they don't necessarily love sports or they don't necessarily love the academic kind of summer camp, but here they can just be themselves and hang out with animals, and it's a win-win all around.
I'd say their personalities truly come out when the animal comes out. You'll get the kids who are very nervous and shy, but when that animal comes out, they're excited to have that conversation now and talk to whoever's brought the animal or talk to the other kids, and it really allows them to just open up. Kind of takes the pressure off them and gives them something to talk about, and you really see their shells open up, and then you see that carry through the rest of the day.
I like the animals, and I even rescue some animals, and I want to learn how to take care of animals more.
When dogs start to lose vision, you can use hand signals.
That when you sprinkle treats all over the ground and long grass, it helps them. It helps their brain. It helps their brain learn better.
The camp's designed for animal lovers between 6 and 9 years old, a sweet spot in a kid's life to learn compassion toward animals. A group of breast cancer survivors from our region are headed to France.
I'm sorry.
Barrie's Ribbons of Hope Dragon Boat team are joining 4,500 other women from around the world for the International Breast Cancer Paddlers Commission Participatory Dragon Boat Festival.
It's really special when you can bring together a group of women, strong women who, have fought a common cause and, survived and thrived after it.
We're heightening awareness that exercise is medicine, and it is what we need as breast cancer survivors.
It's proof of life after breast cancer. It's this idea that you can live after you have breast cancer. You can still do everything. You're not just defined by your chemotherapy or your radiation. You're defined by the strength that you can also have after you've been diagnosed with breast cancer.
They'll be in the French Alps representing Barrie for the last week of August. For more information on all our local events along with other stories, you can go to our website. That's where you can watch our news live online and find all those local stories and breaking news as it happens. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan that QR code on your screen now. Still to come, it's almost time for the Troubadour Festival Summer Concert Series, show number 2. We'll have the details next, but first let's check in with Mike.
Plenty of sunshine, plenty of clear air. Beautiful day today continuing into tomorrow, but how will it affect your weekend plans and the Troubadour Festival Summer Concert Series Night 2? We'll have that after the break, but first, your campfire report that is brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. In Simcoe County, ratings are mostly moderate or high. The lone exception is Beausoleil First Nation, which is at extreme, and the rating across Muskoka has been downgraded to moderate. And now time for a look at our weather watcher today. That is sent in by Finn. A nice sunny day just like it was today with a nice and green tree and flowers. Thank you for sending that in today, Finn. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hey, it's Martin and Steph.
And next week, we have a full week of giveaways for Guns N' Roses tickets.
Yeah, not only Guns N' Roses, we also have tickets to give away to see Letterkenny live at Casino Rama Resort.
Full week of fun. You got to tune in to win.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
This week on Picture This, we're enjoying you, showing us how your pets are enjoying the sun. Show us photos of your four-legged friends, your two-legged friends, your feathered friends, your scaled friends, all your friends. Snap a pic and send it to Picture This at ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Now, Mike, I was going to say Dog Day's a suburb, but then the turtles came in at the end and completely threw me off.
Well, we got dogs and turtles. Sometimes we got squirrels, pigeons in our shows. We got all the animals covered, Jack, as you know. It's light winds right now coming out of the west to southwest. Air quality is good right now, but it is blowing a certain air from the farms as we get sometimes here in Barrie at our newsroom at CTV News Barrie. Taking a look outside at temperatures across the region right now. 23 degrees in Barrie with a little bit of a humidex factor at feeling more like 24 degrees. 22 in Orillia, Gravenhurst, Algonquin Park, Parry Sound, 23 degrees in Collingwood. Taking a look now at our almanac for today. We hit a high of 23 degrees and a low of 9 degrees. Already single-digit lows we're starting to see here in late July. Right around normal temperatures that we would see for this time of year. Just a little bit on the cooler side, though. That humidity from a couple of weeks ago is definitely taking a break, and we got roughly 14 hours of sunshine with a early sunrise of 5:56 a.m. and a late sunset. Now for our satellite radar going into tomorrow, mostly clear around Simcoe County, but as you can see, the little bit of a system coming in from the Parry Sound and Northern Ontario area up there on your map. As for our overnight temperatures, again, low 10s right now, 10 degrees in Barrie, Wasaga Beach, and 11 degrees in Midland, Penetanguishene, 10 degrees out west in Owen Sound. Take a look now at our temperatures for tomorrow. The sunshine is going to continue. 27 degrees in Barrie, Wasaga Beach, Midland, and Penetanguishene and Collingwood. A little bit cooler in Orillia. Down in York Region, overnight we're seeing overnight lows of 10 degrees in Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, and Orangeville. Take a look now at tomorrow. Again, plenty of sunshine, a little bit warmer. 28 degrees is your hot spot in Richmond Hill, and 27s in Newmarket, Bradford, and Georgina. Let's head up north now to Muskoka, where it's going to be an overnight low of 10 degrees. Also in Gravenhurst and Bracebridge, little bit of cloud in the area. 13 degrees is the overnight low in Huntsville. Going into tomorrow, warmer temperatures of 26 degrees across the board, and a little bit of clouds in Haliburton, but mostly clear. Time now for your 5-day extended forecast, brought to you by Diamond & Diamond Lawyers. let's get into Simcoe County, where Saturday is the night of the Troubadour Festival Summer Concert Series Night 2. So there's a slight chance of rain earlier in the day, but by the time the Watchmen headline the stage, it should clear up. High of 26 degrees overnight. 16-degree low. Going into Sunday, the clouds will roll in a little bit more, and you're going to see a bit more of a chance of precipitation, 40% chance, high of 24 degrees. And then on Monday, the clouds and rain could stick around a little bit. You're seeing a high of 22 degrees with a 60% chance of showers. Down in York Region, plenty of sunshine continuing into Friday and Saturday as well, highs of 26 degrees. Clouds rolling in again on Sunday, but you might see a little bit more sunshine, 40% chance of rain on Sunday before the clouds stay on Monday and possibly continue into Tuesday with some precipitation. Now up in Muskoka, Parry Sound, Haliburton, rain continuing into the weekend. So if you're going up to the cottage, then you might want to bring an umbrella with you just in case. You might see a little bit of sunshine, but mostly cloud on Sunday before a little bit more rain on Monday, high of 23 degrees. Time now for a look at the marine report brought to you by Suzuki Marine on northern Lake Huron. You're seeing winds out of the west at 10 to 25 knots, waves at half a meter to a meter in height. Southern Lake Huron, you're seeing winds out of the south-southwest at 10 knots, waves at half a meter or less. Take a look now closer to our region. You're seeing in Lake Simcoe, winds out of the west-northwest at 10 to 15 knots with waves less than half a meter. And for Georgian Bay, you're seeing winds out of the southwest at 10 to 15 knots and waves about half a meter to 1 meter. So Jack, looking pretty good for the Troubadour Festival series, concert series night 2. I remember one of the shows last year we had got a little bit of rain, but it should remain clear for Saturday night, hopefully. And with that, I'll send it right back to you in the newsroom.
All right, thank you, Mike. Now, speaking of that, we're less than 48 hours away from the season's second installment of the Troubadour Festival Summer Concert Series, presented by Paul Sadler Motors.
My life is stereo, kind of cheaply made though. How bad does it show? Whatever did become of all my friends?
One of Canada's iconic 90s rock bands, The Watchmen, will be the headliner Saturday night, expected to take the stage at 8:30 that evening. Stuck on Planet Earth will be opening before The Watchmen take the stage. The Canadian alternative rock trio describes their sound as fusing the grit of the 90s with a soulful modern edge. They hit the stage at 7:30. And don't forget to check out the local openers showcase. That's starting at 5 o'clock. It'll feature Siobhan Bodrug, Noise Hotel, and Nick's Ironstone. This weekend's event will be paired with Open Air Dunlop, featuring classics in the park. From 10 till 3, head down to see more than 500 vehicles lining Barrie's historic Main Street. Adding to the experience, a collection of boats and RVs down at Heritage Park. There'll also be food trucks and more local vendors. You can find the full schedule of events on our website, ctvbarrie.ca. Our dedicated page is now live. Under the Troubadour Festival tab, you'll find details about the local show openers and everything else you need to know. It brought a new meaning to the term engine coil after a Mississauga Animal Services worker pulled a python from under the hood of a vehicle in that city. Last week, Mississauga Animal Services were told about a python trapped inside an engine compartment of a vehicle. They were able to successfully remove the animal, which was dehydrated with a few scratches, but they say was otherwise healthy. The python now recovering at the Mississauga Animal Shelter. Still to come, we talk with one of the local minds behind Ask Me GOC, a new tool helping people make their wishes known before they find themselves in critical care. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Pure Country 106. Central Ontario's home for the best country music. Listen to Pure Country 106 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Recapping our top stories, the Hatton family is looking for answers. That's what their lawyers say. They've filed a $17.5 million lawsuit against police after officers shot Liam Hatton to death outside their Innisfil home 2 years ago. The SIU previously cleared the officers involved of wrongdoing, and charges against his twin brother were dropped. The future of a new hospital in Orillia is up in the air. City Council delaying a decision to allow it to be built next to Lakehead University. The land originally given to the school, but the city wants it back for the build. The university wants payment and that they'll use that for a new building. 2 local men have been charged in a massive drug smuggling ring. Police received 1.7 tons of drugs with an estimated street value of $140 million. A 34-year-old Barrie man and a 54-year-old Shelburne man facing a slew of drug charges. A new tool developed right here in Barrie at Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre is helping patients and caregivers have clearer, more informed conversations about the future of their healthcare decisions. And now it's being used at hospitals right across the province. It's called Ask Me GOC. Now, joining me is one of the program's creators. This is Dr. Chris Martin. Thanks so much for joining us, Dr. Martin.
Thank you for having me, Jack.
So tell me, what is Ask Me GOC?
So Ask Me Goals of Care is a web-based tool created right here in Barrie at RVH, which allows patients and their caregivers to go through a guided discussion so that they have informed consent as to what their wishes would be for their care, and more importantly, should they get very sick or critically ill while in hospital. So
tell me, how did Ask Me GOC and the research behind it kind of come together?
Yeah, good. Thanks for asking that. We're the 3 of the creators, Dr. Didio Dado, Dr. Oscar, and I, are intensive care physicians. And often we would be called to see patients admitted to hospital who were very critically ill, had a sudden deterioration in their condition, and we'd arrive, the patient themselves were unable to tell us their wishes, and we'd be left wondering, how aggressive of care do they want? So there's a need for these discussions to happen earlier on before this happens. So we wanted to create a tool that was standardized questions and that allowed the patient and their loved ones to be involved and be truly informed as to what their current diagnosis is, what their prognosis is, and what their chances were should they have a sudden cardiac event. And then using their values, come up with a care plan that aligns with their values, but also what's expected to benefit them from a medical perspective.
Now, how was this program brought in at RVH?
So, with any good system, especially a system like ours that's stressed, and there's lots of critical people, you have to be innovative. And so, we really at RVH strive for that innovation. And the only way to know if your innovation is good is to test it in research. So we created this tool, which we felt, really fit the needs of the system. And then we did a research project, which is how you need to study an innovation to make sure it works. And so we did a large randomized trial, which is we basically entered 1,800 patients and tested the program Ask Me Goals of Care versus the standard of care. And the results were very overwhelmingly positive. The patients really felt that they had more informed decision-making capacity. They were satisfied they were making the right choice. The care team was satisfied, and the physician group felt that they were having better discussions than they used to. So by testing it at RVH, we were able to prove that it works, and now we're trying to scale it throughout the province.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Martin. We've been speaking with Ask Me GOC co-creator, Dr. Chris Martin. Again, thank you for being here. A reminder, if you'd like to revisit this interview, you can find it on our website. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan the QR code on your screen. In business news, Canadian retail sales rose in May for the 5th straight month, fueled by higher gas prices. Sales at motor vehicle and parts dealers were also up for the 2nd straight month, with new car sales leading the gain. Retail sales were up in all 9 subsectors. Increased consumer spending has been uplifting a struggling Canadian economy, dealing with weak hiring and business investment. Going to our markets now, a down day. The TSX down 292 points. The Dow down 506. The Nasdaq down 553. In commodities, oil was up of $5.36, closing at 92 a barrel. Gold was down 101, finishing at $4,050 an ounce. And our dollar was up at the end of the day by 0.03 cents. Ending the day at 71.01 cents U.S. A former Barrie Colt goaltender, Jet Greaves, has signed a $15 million contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The 3-year deal was agreed to just before their arbitration hearing Thursday morning. The Blue Jackets filed for a $2.8 million salary, while Greaves countered with a $7.5 million one. The new $5 million figure is an average between those two values. Greaves played with the Colts from 2018 to 2021. The Barrie Baycats are back on the field tonight, playing for the first of 3 games in 3 days. The Baycats, who are tied for first place in the Canadian Baseball League, will host the Brantford Red Sox tonight, their annual military celebration, which had been postponed due to poor ad quality last week. In Barrie, will then travel to London tomorrow night to take on the Majors. London is also tied for first place. The Baycats will return home to Athletic Culture Stadium Saturday afternoon to take on the Kitchener Panthers. Still to come, getting international recognition, we'll show you what product an Ontario fly fishing shop is getting accolades for. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Taking a look at your primetime lineup for tonight. Starting at 8 o'clock, we've got a 2-hour block of New Girl going all the way until 10 when Criminal Minds comes on, and then CTV News at 11. An Ontario fly fishing shop owner being recognized for his contribution to the pastime. He launched his own rod company 3 years ago and recently became the first Canadian featured in a prestigious fly fishing publication. CTV's Karis Mapp has more.
When he's not working at his Fergus fly fishing shop, Scott Hall can often be found casting along the Grand River. Hall and his wife Tanya have owned and operated Grand River Outfitting for more than a decade now.
Basically, in the last 12 years that we've had our company, Grand River Outfitting, we have carried everybody else's rods, and mostly all of those rods are usually American owned. And I thought, you know what, why isn't there a Canadian fly rod company doing this?
3 years ago, he launched his own line of affordable rods, raising the bar and the blank.
It's not just a basic rod. It has 24-ton carbon graphite. It has graphene in it. It's a very special rod. So those price points, you're getting a quality rod for the price.
In a world that is dominated in North America and worldwide by some very iconic brands, a lot of US-based and fantastic brands that we sell here, I thought it was really unique to offer a product that's been tested, developed here on our home waters.
It was the surprise of a lifetime when Fly Fusion magazine contacted Hall inquiring about the rods.
I've always been a big fan of Fly Fusion. It was a magazine that I got a subscription to years and years ago.
Only a handful of companies get featured each year in the magazine's Ultimate Rod Review.
We'll actually take each rod and put it through the ringer and then take it out on the water and bend it, sometimes break them. And when we break them, we don't review those.
But Hall's rods had them hooked.
I was excited about the look and feel. And the experience I had on the water with it. This one just felt right. It just felt good in my hands. It cast really well.
I'm absolutely shocked, yeah, and humbled, really, because if you look in there, you have all the big names, Winston, Sage, Redington, Orvis, and you have little Hall Rod Company.
This is the rod right here that got the feature in Fly Fusion. It's one of many by Hall Rod Company that are all designed and engineered right here in Canada. While the magazine's roots are in Canada, it reels in readers from around the world. And Hall Rods was the first Canadian company to get the recognition. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Fergus.
Time now for Get Up and Go.
Yes, Jack, sunshine continuing into tomorrow morning. Plenty of sun in Barrie, Gravenhurst, and Newmarket. 13 degrees in Barrie, 14 in Newmarket, and 13 degrees, mostly sunny skies in Gravenhurst. That's Get Up and Go. Have a great night.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Jack Morse. Thank you for watching. I'll be back on the desk at 11. Until then, you have a good night.